Hello and welcome back. I'd like to talk about something a bit complex. It may seem very confusing and maybe even abstract, or maybe even hard to understand. So I'm going to do my best to try to simplify this as much as possible. It is something that can grab hold of us and take over our entire existence, our enjoyment in life, our fulfillment, our bodily functioning, our emotional well-being, and our mental well-being. And this is pain. And when pain settles in, now if it is physical pain, if it is emotional pain, if it is psychological pain, they are all kind of the same, connected in a way. I'm going to go into the roots of what causes such excruciating pain and how to work out of it. Now, first, remember, our mind is very powerful. Extremely powerful. And when we are in a moment of pain, this is when our mind can become extremely activated and tell us our greatest answers. Now, it takes a lot of wrestling and a lot of awareness to understand what our pain is trying to tell us. And usually it comes out in the form of words. But the hardest part about this is if we are used to saying certain things and thinking certain things, it's really hard to observe what our thoughts or what our body or our emotions are trying to tell us. That's why this requires a great deal of self-awareness. Now, if you are experiencing incredible bodily pain, physical pain, if you are experiencing incredible emotional pain or even mental pain, overthinking, analyzing, creating stories that are really difficult, emotional and mental pain are going to be somewhat similar because they're very intertwined, and truthfully, it's all connected. Bodily pain, physical pain is very connected to the mind, to the emotional self, and etc. It's all connected. Everything that's happening within ourselves is one connected loop, is one connected pattern, is one connected web of beliefs as well. But specifically singling out pain, there's going to be a correlation with all these three or even four quadrants if you want to put your soul into this. But we're going to take the soul out of this equation and really stick with the body, mind, and emotional self. Right? So even the work of Joe Dispenza, he talks about this often, about how our emotions trigger our thoughts or vice versa. We can feel something first and feel uncomfortable and then all of a sudden start thinking and ruminating, or if we start thinking and ruminating and stressing, we can create an emotional reaction. They're very closely interconnected. And from the emotional reaction, we can create some kind of behavioral response or physical manifestation in our body as a result. According to the work of Dr. Michael Lincoln, who I reference often from the Messages from the Body, he has discovered that 90% of physical pain is psychological. Typically, the skin feels the pain and anything underneath it will not necessarily be connected with pain. Pain that is created within our deeper self comes from our false beliefs, comes from our psychology, comes from deeper unresolved aspects within ourself that we have not faced yet. Now, if you are experiencing pain in your body, check in to see what is happening in your life in this moment in time. Are you going through anything fearful? Are you going through anything stressful? Is there anything in your life, maybe on a bigger picture, that isn't working out smoothly or the way that you're hoping? Or is there resistance within your body with the flow and trust of life? Now, your body, of course, is your greatest communication warning center. This is the work of Dr. Michael Lincoln. This is what I've been working on for almost 5 years now, and it is very true. Your body is trying to tell you something, especially through pain. Now, pain, as Dr. Michael Lincoln has stated, comes from our psychological blueprints, our psychological patterns that have not been looked at yet, that have not been addressed or resolved. Now, these pain points typically reside deep within the unconscious self where we can't really see them. However, they become almost a bit of a tape loop in our unconscious until we can see them, until we can let them go. Now, what are some of the exercises that you can integrate to release pain? One is going to be self-awareness. Now, it goes back to what I already mentioned about taking note of where you are in your life, what you're going through. What are the key components of your life experience that you're currently in that could be activating or exacerbating this pain? And what is that pain trying to tell you? And especially, what body part is that pain residing is going to give you a very symbolic clue as to what the message is, what it is trying to tell you. For example, if it is lower back pain, maybe there is a feeling of imbalance or financial instability or lack of security. Now, this can run very, very, very deep. If you want to get cosmic, this can go into past life experiences that have not been resolved, that need to be resolved in this lifetime if we choose to look at it. Remember, our souls have patterns and beliefs that are carried through into our earth incarnation that will replay in many different forms until we take a look at these deeper correlations within ourselves. We can change all of this, and I'll let you know that I have healed in myself deep pain from tuning inward only and doing this work that I often talk about, understanding the body. And if you're wanting to go deeper into pain and understand the false beliefs and the story and the origin and release from it, make sure to follow me over on the Odyssey of Self on Substack. In the members area, you will gain access to a library of recordings that I'm working on right now, where I'm going to dissect the work of Dr. Michael Lincoln. And I have already uploaded a recording on pain, talking about the different aspects of pain, where it comes from the psychological patterns. And by listening to these recordings, you also will experience a release. That is part of this work. Not only will you experience a release, you'll also be able to go deeper within your own self-practice. So the recordings are on Substack. They're available now for the members area. But I want to give you also some tips here that you can use for yourself with your own inner practice. Now, when we feel pain, we automatically will almost like clench up with more fear. Pain is very difficult to navigate, and this does take a lot of focus to work through, to not succumb to our old patterns when we are immediately feeling pain, rather to reverse our patterns and look in and pause and find stillness, even if it's uncomfortable, and go into the pain and then release it. Feeling that pain with love, with trust, with a deeper knowing and a deeper connection with yourself, with your higher self, and allowing yourself to feel into it. Now, I've released pain this way, by opening up areas in my body with trust and with love and with expansiveness. Now, I know it could sound a little woo, but it is very true. This is self-mastery. This is the level when you can become so self-actualized and so enlightened within your body, within your entire being, that you can heal yourself almost immediately when you get the hang of it. It takes a bit of time to navigate, but you must first go into this pain point without fear. Fear is going to be the biggest indicator when you are in pain. What are you afraid of? What is showing up in your life that is causing a lot of fear? This may require you to go deep and to sit with it and to find the layers and layers and layers within this message within your body, of your own story, of your own past. Of course, looking back at childhood, looking back at patterns from your family, experiences that you've gone through in your past. Now, it's not about replaying any of these stories or reliving them. It's simply looking at your patterns through curiosity. It's a bit of a scavenger hunt to find these correlations. Once you see them, once you find them, you let them go. That is the power of this work. Now, another exercise that you can incorporate is by looking at the positive of your situation. Say, for example, if you have chronic pain in your life and it's teaching you to learn how to treat your body better, maybe it's teaching you how to do exercises such as this, maybe it's teaching you to eat well or exercise more or do yoga, or maybe it's pushed you to be a yoga teacher or a meditation expert. Look at the positive of what that challenge is giving you. Now, all challenges give us a positive, give us a gift if we find that gift within that challenge. We can look at the challenge and look at the problem and get stuck in that and live in it, and it won't go away if we do. This is the problem of these perpetual patterns that we have within ourselves. It almost pulls us into these patterns of fear and pain and worry. That's the psychological pattern, the loop that we can find ourselves in. But once we slowly start to reverse it and break our way out of it, we are going to create a new pathway of empowerment and confidence, liberation and healing. That is the beauty of this work, but it takes a lot of inner wrestling. It truly does. So find the positive and talk about the positive. Talk about the change that you've gone through. Empower others, help others, empower yourself, speak to yourself. Notice the good that has come out of the difficult. And you will notice your body start to shift, your mindset starting to shift, your emotional well-being start to shift. And yes, you will notice changes in your outer world as a result. When we are feeling physical pain, we tend to clamp in. We tend to hold ourselves in because we are in fear. That's when a great deal of fear is becoming exasperated and triggered within our unconscious self. We can't see it. We can't really understand it, but it's there and it overtakes our entire being, holding us back in many ways. And also, we will start to look at the negative and twist and distort the story and situations to fit that narrative. So it's very important when feeling pain of any kind, mostly I'm speaking to physical pain in this video, to go into it gently and to observe from the inside through mindfulness, through meditation techniques, through inner guidance, through body scanning, and incorporating trust into those pain points, incorporating love into those pain points, and starting to talk about the positives. Start to get excited about what you're learning through this experience. Start talking about the good that is starting to transform, or that can be possible because of your experience. We sometimes, I would say sometimes, often, or always, often always have to go through some of these experiences to understand the contrast and to become greater, to become more confident, to become more self-aware, to become enlightened, and maybe to become a teacher or a healer or a guide, or even empower people simply as friends or colleagues or coworkers, however it lands, however it resonates. Overcoming these adversities and overcoming these types of challenges makes us stronger, makes us greater, makes us more alive and more aware. When you are experiencing pain, it is not a bad thing. I have to mention, and I always have to preface this as well in my videos and go back to this saying that I keep talking about, that it's important not to be hard on ourselves when we're going through this, or be mad towards ourselves or towards the universe or towards life. And I've been there. I've been through excruciating pain and I've resolved it. And sometimes I still get it every now and then. But now seeing it from a different perspective and working with pain from the inside out, I get to change myself and I get to break certain patterns. So don't be hard on yourself if you find yourself going into patterns of negativity, of doubt, of resentment. That's completely fine. And in fact, those aspects that you may experience are going to give you clues as to what needs to be looked at. If there is resentment that's triggered, that's activated, go into that. Look into resentment, go into anger, look into anger. What is the root? What is the core? Why is it there? What are you truly angry at? Who are you angry at? And why is it coming up in the way that it does? What is it trying to show you? And of course, where is it showing up in your body? So remember, pain is 90% psychological. That's a big, big number to think about, to consider with your practice. So how can you reverse it? By understanding your psychology and your patterns. And when we look at the positive and the constructive aspects of our experience, we will start to widen the gap between the good and the empowerment and the growth and the transformation versus the fear and the stuckness in the loop that we remain in. This particular exercise will require a lot of work. It will. It may not be an overnight thing. It may require maybe weeks or days or maybe even months to work through this, but I guarantee you, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And I know we can all do this. So it does require a bit of patience, or a lot. It does require time and effort and commitment and dedication, and a lot of very strong mindfulness to be aware of where are the old patterns of fear, diving into old patterns that just aren't serving or keeping you in that deadlock or keeping you in that pain, versus looking at your pain in a new way and working out of it, not succumbing to old fears and stories that have been perpetuating. When we say these stories, maybe, well, I'm just getting older, I can't take care of myself, I'm in this pain, it just keeps going on, it won't go away. We are creating that reality. We are creating that story. When we perpetuate these stories, we are allowing for it to exist in our life. Now, it's not about being naive. It's not about being ignorant. It's not about being blind to how we feel, but it's also recognizing that our patterns, our mental thoughts, our words, our stories contribute to the ongoing perpetuated experience that we can be experiencing. And try it out. Give yourself a good solid 3 months for it. Try it out just as an exercise and see what you can do. See if you can change it. See what you can learn through it. All right, so I hope this video found you when you needed it the most. Make sure to find me over at the Odyssey of Self as I upload content like this and more, and especially in the members area, where you will be able to dive deeper into the work of Dr. Michael Lincoln, understanding the correlation between the unconscious mind and the body, also for release work and healing, and to broaden your awareness of your ability to be a self-healer and to work towards greater wholeness, authenticity, and even confidence. So I wish you all the best on your journey and beyond. Until next time, take care.